Shoot to kill. It's self-explanatory.
Shoot to kill. All right, let's
Yes,
start
shoot
there.
to kill.
What
Kill a
is-
man.
Shoot to kill, kill a man.
Shoot to kill. Nyamazan. So nyamazan is an animal. So when we say shoot to kill nyamazan, we are commanding nyamazan to shoot and kill.
can
You
say
also want me to interpret the language you hear.
Yes, just so we're clear. What are you saying in that?
Kiss the boer, kiss the farmer. I thought it's English.
It is?
Yes.
And what does that mean?
It means kiss.
Kiss how?
Mwah.
To my mind, if you say kiss the boer, but you still say shoot to kill, it still is hate speech. However, if you just blatantly say kill the boer, then you don't even have that argument to fall back on.
No, the message in the chant is very clear. Shoot to kill, kill. Nyamazan means shoot to kill the enemy forces who are standing in between us and our freedom. It was very clear that. And then the kiss is exactly that. It means kiss the boer, kiss the farmer. Because I know when I say that, you are going to take offense. You know why? Because you don't want a black person kissing a white person. It's an immoral act, according to the immoral act of during apartheid. Even to embrace love and kissing of black people to white people, it's a criminal offense. I know that the racist will still be offended by a call to kiss.
If you sometimes sing kiss the boer, I regard that as an acknowledgement that singing kill the boer is wrong. That's why you sing kiss the boer.
This music. We are not going to massage your feelings. We are not going to massage your white fragility, your white privilege. This is not happening. This is not about a song. This is not about a song. This is about our history.
We've seen what can happen to the court. I'm going to adjourn and have to go and speak to the court manager and find out what's going on. These are people who understand the situation, and I would take it working with the police.
The 9th of March 2010, when Mr. Malema was addressing a crowd of supporters at the University of Johannesburg. And he made a speech and then he burst into song. The lyrics are, "They are scared, the cowards. Shoot the boer or shoot a boer. They rape these dogs." There's also a translation that says, "They rob these dogs." In the weeks that followed, farm attacks increased. At least 2 farmers were murdered. You are singing about shooting the boers, and your supporters are talking about committing farm murders. But the reality is that these people are actually being murdered.
Now, you testified earlier that boer means farmer, is that correct?
Yes.
So would it be kill the farmer?
No. In a literal meaning, that's your interpretation. In our understanding, because we are not barbaric, we know that farmer gets to be used as a phase of land dispossession and the system that has rejected us and stolen property from us. That's what we mean by the farmer. But they understand that we're not referring to any group of persons in that context.
How do you know they understand that?
They would have done it by now.
They have.
No, they've not.
But we continuously see politicians romanticizing violence against farmers, and we see it all the time. It has become a characteristical feature of political life in South Africa. There's political gatherings where songs are being sung about how farmers should be murdered. The single most significant and the single most influential person in this regard is undoubtedly Julius Malema.
The black people roots know the first black person he saw is a domestic worker in his house when he grew up. The second black person he saw was a security guard at the gate when he got out. The third black person he saw was a cashier at the shop owned by white people. The fourth black person he saw was the cleaners where he went to school. Those are the blacks he has had an interaction with. And he thinks of us like that because that is his exposure to black people. And therefore, always characterizing us as non-thinkers, as baboons, as people who can't think. And that's why if they hear a leader says, kill the Boer, they can go into the house and take machete and go and kill people. Because these are non-thinkers. That's how they view us. That's how they characterize us. It's unfortunate that we find ourselves in a society where we coexist with such people who look at us and who think of us like that. We don't think like that about them. Our leaders never thought of like that about them. Despite the fact that they engaged in genocide of black people when they came here, despite conquering us in the wars of dispossession, despite killing kids in 1976 and in the 80s, we don't think of them like that. We never thought of them like that, but they think like that about us. That's very bad.
It is not our argument that farm murders constitute ethnic cleansing, but there is a stronger argument to be made that this could lead to ethnic cleansing than to be made that this could lead to genocide. And the reason why I say this is ethnic cleansing typically manifests in people saying, we're going to take your land, we're going to chase you off the land. And if you leave our country, it typically includes comments like, you are just a visitor. Yeah. If you go, you can go back to your home, wherever that is. And if you go there, you know, we're all going to live in peace. Genocide says we're going to come after you and we're going to kill you. He made several comments about, it's also in the book, slitting the throat of whiteness and making comments as such. And then saying, basically what he's saying is you should behave because if you don't, we're going to call for a genocide. That's what he said. We're not calling for genocide, at least for now. In other words, one day we might change our minds and we might start calling for genocide.
Now, how do you reconcile this constitutional notion that South Africa belongs to all who live in it and that white people are visitors in South Africa?
You arrived here as settlers in 1652. It's a historical fact. And you were using South Africa as a refreshment station. You were not here to settle. You were passing. Because of our Africanness and the spirit of Ubuntu, we have embraced you and we have shared our land with you. And we have accepted that you have naturalized in this country. But it doesn't change the fact that you came here as a visitor. This South Africa you are talking about was imposed on us. So we didn't come from anywhere. Speak for yourself. We didn't come from anywhere. There's no African who came from anywhere. We came from here.